The operators in Rainbow Six Siege have spent the last 6 years training in blue versus blue attack and defend scenarios, but with Rainbow Six Extraction, Ubisoft is finally deploying its elite soldiers to the field, and they have just one mission: to save the world. Combining Rainbow Six Siege's best-in-class shooting mechanics with endlessly replayable, randomly assigned player versus environment missions, Rainbow Six Extraction is a tense, nail-biting game where teamwork, communication, and leaning is key. Here's everything you need to know about Rainbow Six Extraction. Aliens have attacked Earth, and sadly, the common cold wasn't enough to take them out. The Archaeans are an invasive species of extraterrestrial with one apparent objective: to overwhelm and extinguish all life on this planet. To combat this calamity, our favourite band of international special operators has formed the Rainbow Exogenous Analysis and Containment Team, better known as REACT, and they set out to do what their acronym says: analyse and contain the Archaean threat. Not every Rainbow operator has joined REACT just yet, but a lot of the classics are front and centre. Rook, Pulse, and Sledge are in the mix, for example, and they feel great. Lord Tachanka answered the call too, and he brought with him his old-school mounted machine gun.
AP-28, mounted and ready.
That means Rainbow Six Siege fans will have a bit of a leg up when it comes to Extraction, because the DNA of Siege is at the core of this game. But instead of 5 versus 5, blue versus blue, attack and defend combat scenarios, Extraction pits you and up to 2 friends against swarms of alien nasties. After selecting a location to investigate, Extraction randomly assigns a handful of missions for you to complete. There are 13 different mission types, involving everything from capturing or eliminating elite Archaean threats to rescuing high-value React assets. There's a good deal of variety at play in Extraction's missions, and operator selection can be very important depending on what you're doing. Missions like Sabotage require locking down an area for a tense couple of minutes, which defenders are great at.
Wall is reinforced.
But bringing Tachanka on a capture mission, where the team needs to shift around the map quickly, is a recipe for disaster. At the end of each mission, you and your squad are able to decide whether you continue on through to the next area, or whether you extract, taking whatever experience you manage to secure along with you. This isn't the only time you'll need to think about Extraction, however. If a player gets KO'd mid-match, your mission objective suddenly changes. You need to extract them from the zone so they can get the help they require. On higher difficulty levels, extracting your fallen teammates might cost you everything.
Ground team is down.
But that risk is often worth taking, as your path to victory narrows significantly once you're down an operator. One of the missions, Triangulate, requires players to activate 3 beacons across the map.
There's the first station. Activate it.
And that becomes much more challenging with just 2 REACT members alive. It all feeds into the careful balancing act that makes Extraction so compelling to play. If you know your teammates can't be trusted to roll solo, maybe your best bet is to bring Finka along for the ride. If you don't have a squad of 3 ready to rock, Extraction is more than happy to accommodate the solos and duos. It alters mission parameters and difficulty settings depending on how many operators enter the zone. But fair warning, if you're playing as a terrible twosome and your teammate perishes, that's a full half of your team gone.
It's not that bad!
And if you're lone wolfing, you'll have nobody to blame but yourself if you die. With randomly selected missions and enemies, Extraction has the potential to be extremely challenging, but there are oodles of ways to make life easier as you move through the ruined remnants of this besieged world. One way is to shoot the thick black goop on the ground that slows you down. The nests, red bulbous spawn points for Archaeans, are also easy to spot and destroy. Doing this will significantly reduce how many alien baddies you'll have to deal with, but probably best not to do it during a nest tracking mission, for obvious reasons.
We need enough nests to map out current subterranean systems.
The real trick in Rainbow Six Extraction is resource management. Ammo, health, and utilities need to be managed across your entire team. There's no point having 1,200 bullets if your teammate dies while dry firing their sidearm. As you level up your operators and unlock new gadgets, you'll have more options for customizing your approach. Learning how to use the various equipables is critical, as some are more situational than others. Stun grenades and drones are always useful, for instance, whereas claymores are a little narrower but can be extremely helpful when trying to do things like destroy a spike. And when in doubt, bring a self-revive kit. As challenging as Rainbow Six Extraction is ordinarily, it can get harder still. One of the toughest missions is the Gateway, which sends you and your team through a singularity, dropping you in to kill an Archean Protean, the toughest threat the Archies can throw at you. These extraterrestrial nasties mimic the operators of Team Rainbow themselves. Have you ever wondered how tough Smoke might be if he had 15 times as much health and left a trail of his toxic babes wherever he ran? That's very specific, but you need wonder no longer. And for the ultimate challenge, you and your squad can dive into the Maelstrom Protocol. While the rest of Rainbow Six Extraction randomly selects its missions, the Maelstrom Protocol issues you, and everyone else, a fixed challenge. Each week, the Maelstrom Protocol will select 9 submissions and just 6 operators that every single player will have to use to get to the end. And there's a twist. Each submission features a different modifier. One might have invisible Archeans, while the next has poisonous sprawl. It really ramps up the challenge. Extraction blends one of the best shooters of all time with some wonderfully honed PvE action. And you don't have to wait long to try it for yourself. It's out on PC, Xbox and PlayStation on January 20th. It's even hitting Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass on that same day. For more on Rainbow Six Extraction, be sure to check out the cinematic trailer and find out a little more about the game's lore. And for everything else, you're in the right place. IGN.